Few points on nuclear fallout. Why it's not as dangerous as you think. Now, what most people misunderstand about nuclear fallout is that they think they're gonna die of radiation. The amount of radiation spread in a nuclear fallout is not that large. It's not that concentrated. No, well, it's not really concentrated. If you are close to the firebomb, yes, you will be exposed to more nuclear fallout, but you're more likely to die of the blast or the heat wave or maybe the sound wave before even any of that. Now, nuclear fallout can differ. People usually don't understand what radiation is. Radiation is just atoms losing mass. It's just just lose some mass and release some energy. Now, you see, everything is technically radiation. Even, light, daylight is radiation, but it's relatively not very harmful to us. You can still get cancer from it, but it's not as harmful as, let's say, X-rays or gamma rays. Now, why is it harmful? What you would wonder, because you see, they're photons and they move at a certain energy. Now, a light wave has some energy that cannot penetrate, let's say, wood, but many other photons like X-ray and gamma can. UV light and certain of them can penetrate certain materials, but usually gamma can penetrate most things. What it actually does also penetrates you. Gamma and X-ray usually penetrate you. UV red lights and whatever radio waves and so forth. Your body prevents you, your skin prevents you from them penetrating your skin, but gamma and X-ray can penetrate you. So what it does actually, well, you see, them penetrating you is not the big problem. The problem is when they're penetrating you, they disrupt the atoms in your system. So when you have DNA in your cells, they damage the cell. They damage the DNA in the cell. So actually, if the cell just dies, it's not a big problem, but the cell just regrows and continues to multiply. So what happens is that instead of your cell dying, which your cells would die too, but a lot of them would get deformed, they mutate, and so they don't form in a normal way. So what you end up having is, if you're an adult, is cancer, which is not very harmful. I know what people think, but even in Chernobyl, not many people died. The problem is in children, and also if you're pregnant. You see, it actually renders the next generations pretty weak. Not you. If you're a full-grown adult, it's not much. There's not much it can do to you. Your cells regenerate in a far slower pace. So the amount of sick cells in your body will be much less than a kid would have, or basically an embryo would have. The actual danger is to the next generations. In nuclear fallout, you don't have much to fear if you are not close to the blast rate. And if you are close to a nuclear, explosion's blast rate, there's way more dangerous things that you have to worry about. I mean, the heat wave probably would burn your skin. You would have third-degree burns, and you would die out of many more different ways, many more different reasons than the nuclear fallout. Nuclear fallout takes years to die sometimes. Yes, it can kill you in weeks if you get radiation sickness, but you need to be close, and there is no way you will get that close and not see the harms of the nuclear blast. It just doesn't work out. So nuclear fallout is actually one of the less concerning things in a nuclear warhead these days. Why do you think that is? Well, you see, these days nuclear warheads are usually fusion. Fusion overall, for mass to mass, release less radiation. Overall, they release more radiation, but on mass to mass, they release less radiation, because fission is just excess energy, and fusion is just atoms coming together and some excess energy. That's why the radiation is actually not that powerful compared to the explosion. In a fission, the explosion and radiation, let's say, is similar, but in a fusion, the explosion is far greater than the radiation. I mean, look at Tsar Bomba. It was the greatest bomba in the world. They exploded it in a peninsula. What was the peninsula's name? I don't remember exactly. It shattered glasses all the way in Norway. What happened? Like few hours later, Russians landed a helicopter there and put some people on the board. On board, none of them got radiation sickness. If it was incredibly dangerous, if the radiation fallout was incredibly dangerous, they wouldn't. Nothing would happen to them. Moreover, radiation fallout is not consistent. What people wonder, what people don't understand, it just stays there for a couple of days. After 2 weeks of staying in an underground bunker, you're not really in danger of radiation fallout. Your dehydration and food shortages are far bigger problem than radiation fallout. The third degree burns, the sound wave, the broken glass is relatively bigger problem than a radiation fallout. Because if you're close to any actual fallout danger, the heat wave is gonna burn your skin, your tissue, your eyes, and you're not gonna much chance of survival anyway. So why would you fear the radiation fallout? Why would you fear something that will kill you in weeks in a set of something that will kill you in days or hours? I mean, if you're pretty close, it will kill you in seconds. But it's usually something that people fear because people always fear the less dangerous things than the more dangerous ones. It's something we do. Don't know why, but it was a few points on the radiation fallout. As you can understand, it's not as dangerous as you think. You would have way bigger problems.